Even if people try to make you feel bad about not having social media. Hey guys, this is Mick with NPMO. I'm a recovery coach here to help you finally break free from your addiction to porn, masturbation, and obsessive orgasms. Stick around because this could be the most important video you watch today. In today's video, I'm going to be answering a few questions that some of you had pertaining to the last video I made. So here we go. So the first question is, how do I avoid the wrong stimulation on social media? It seems like this stuff is everywhere. That's right, it is everywhere. And that's done by design. These companies, it's a business at the end of the day, right? And people are trying to sell stuff to make money. I get it, but don't be fooled. You know, there's a reason why they use beautiful women in high-end sports car commercials or advertisements, or even gym athletic wear. There's beautiful women in these very, very sexy looking clothing, and they're trying to sell you stuff as well. It can be anything that people are trying to sell. They'll probably use a beautiful woman to market that to you, and you need to be aware of it. So long story short, I would probably actually, let me go ahead and say this. If you have an addiction to porn, obsessive masturbation, and obsessive orgasms, you shouldn't have social media. And you can make a million excuses for why you should have it. You keep connection with your friends, your family. It's for work. It's for blah, blah, blah. You just need to get rid of it for a while. And if you feel like you can get it back later, you can introduce it back into your life. But social media is too much of a trap. There's too many minds out there in the field that are going to catch you off guard. Even when you try to block things, they figure out a way to infiltrate. And at the end of the day, being away from social media for a few months or however long you think is necessary isn't going to kill you. And it's always going to be there. You can always return. You're not going to miss out on anything. It's always going to be there. So my advice would be to totally just dump the social media. And YouTube counts as social media as well. And I know that might sound against what I'm saying, but if you're actively just scrolling around on YouTube, you're going to run into something. So you need to make sure that if you are watching YouTube, you just add the channel to your favorites and you just go to that only. You don't look at the home screen. The home screen is going to catch you off guard. And this goes for all social media. I would highly suggest removing that from your life temporarily if you can't handle it. And don't test yourself. If you've already had a relapse from some sort of video, I remember there was many of times I would be on Instagram or I would be on some sort of social media and I'm just scrolling and I'm looking at stuff that's not even sexually related, and all of a sudden there would be an advertisement or there would be somebody who responded to a message on there that I clicked on because it was intriguing. It activated my feelings. I look at it, beautiful 10 out of 10 model, and then boom, off to the races I go. So don't even play that game. Don't even try to trick yourself. And there's nothing wrong with it. Even if people try to make you feel bad about not having social media, there's no reason you need to be worried about that. You need to take care of this. It's a serious problem. And you need to do everything you can to win. Stack the deck in your favor. So I would suggest removing that. Question number 2. How long does it take to recover? It's a great question, and that differs for everybody. It's going to be different for every single one of you. For me, it took a long time. For some people, it may not take that long, but you're going to know when you're in the zone. I'll call it the recovery zone. I actually believe in recovery being something you do forever, not you're recovered and then you can just go back to it. I've relapsed way too many times to know that it's not something I can tinker with. Some of you might be able to, but I'm here to help you guys quit. And I would suggest that you have the mindset that you no longer try to hit these goals of X amount of days and then I'm recovered. No, you're in recovery and you stay in recovery. It's like brushing your teeth every day. You do it every day so that your teeth stay clean and they stay healthy so you don't have big problems later. The same thing goes for your addiction to porn, masturbation, and obsessive orgasms. You just don't do it anymore. So I wouldn't recommend that you count your days. There's a time and place for that. I do understand. But I don't want to answer this question and tell you, like, after 90 days, you're fixed. That's not true. It depends on every single person. It's different. But in your heart, in your soul, you're going to know when you are in the zone of recovery. And once you're in the zone of recovery, you don't need to do as much recovery work. It could be just a few things. Like for me, I have a very low recovery maintenance plan that it's easy for me to maintain every single day. But during the first stages of recovery, yeah, it's a lot of work and you need to invest in yourself. It's just the way it is. It's a lot of work. You didn't get there overnight and you're not going to get out of it overnight either. So be realistic and don't even think about the time. Just be happy that you're actually doing something to quit and you're actively working on yourself. Question number 3. Is it normal to feel anxious during recovery? Yes, it's absolutely normal. Feeling anxious during recovery is totally fine. Do not beat yourself up over that and don't worry that it's going to stay there forever because it's not. Once you get further into recovery, your anxiety and that anxious feeling you're talking about will start to go down. It'll start to reduce big time. So don't worry about that. Especially the first few weeks, you'll be anxious just from default. So don't worry about that. Next question. Is it normal to feel kind of retrograde shame after realizing the effect the addiction has had on my life? Yes, that's going to happen. You're going to feel bad about things you did. What you need to focus on is that you're now doing something good. You can't change the past. It was an accident, a mistake, and you can't blame anybody or yourself for that. It wasn't your fault that this happened. The world is designed to sort of get you in this loop. It's like to distract you. So you can't beat yourself up over it. No matter what age you picked up this bad habit, don't beat yourself up. It was an accident, and you didn't mean to do this. You didn't want to go down this route, this path. So forgive yourself. And yes, you will have thoughts about it in the past. And you need to just sort of turn the volume down on those because there's nothing you can do about the past. You just have to let it go. And I know that sounds easy, but with time, it'll get better and better for you. The last question is, how do I enjoy activities if I can't get imagery out of my mind? So this is another thing where the further you get into recovery, the less of these thoughts you're going to have. You're going to have less of these thoughts. And I always remember a mentor had told me that the thoughts are never going to go away, right? But the volume is going to decrease, as in you're not going to hear them as loud. And the most importantly is the frequency is going to go down too. Like the amount of times you think about this is going to reduce. I remember when I first started my recovery process, I would think about this all day and it would be so loud, very intrusive thoughts. And as I got further and further into recovery, it wasn't as frequent. Maybe it'd be once a day or once every other day or once a week. And it wasn't as loud in my head like, hey, I need to go do this. So that's good news. The frequency of those thoughts is going to decrease and the intensity is going to decrease as well. There's a lot of good stuff on the way for people who are in recovery. I know that it sounds really challenging out there, but you can do it. If you're watching this video, that means you're serious about it, plain and simple. And you are going to get through it. You just don't ever give up on yourself, no matter how many times you fail. I've mentioned it several times that it took me over 6 years. There were many times where I thought about giving up, but then I would end up going on a binge or a bender that would just bring me to rock bottom again. And I'd be like, this just isn't the life for me. I don't want to be here anymore. So I would get back on my horse and try again. And eventually it stuck. And so that's going to happen for you too. I'm not saying it's going to take 6 years, but even if it did take that long or longer, don't worry. Just keep trying. Don't ever give up on yourself. And lastly, that's not an excuse for you to just act out. I don't want you to think like, oh, well, as long as I try next Monday, next week, or, next month, it's fine. No, you need to take it seriously. This is not something you can fight off easily, because if that was the case, you would have already been done with this. Well, don't lie to yourself. Don't trick yourself, okay? That's the addiction, playing tricks on you. Anyhow, take care of yourself, be gentle to yourself, and remember, don't ever quit trying to quit. Like, never give up on yourself, okay? You can do this. I know that you would love to hear a magic bullet, like if I told you, hey, this is the only thing you need to do, and then you're free. It's just not the case. And don't listen to anybody that tells you that or tries to market some sort of recovery program that you can be free from porn in one day or some BS like that. Don't fall for that. There is no magic bullet with this. I'm sorry, there's not, but it's the truth. okay? Just remember that every step you're taking is going to bring you closer to freedom. Check out my other content. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, leave a comment for anything you might need help with. If you're interested in more help, DM me on Instagram at ENDPMO. Remember, you're here for a reason. This isn't an accident. You didn't accidentally come across this video. You need help, and this is the step you're taking forward to get help, which I commend you for. It's not easy. Keep up the good work, okay? Don't ever give up on yourself. Hang in there. Peace.